Awesome. So George, that video just talks a little bit about who we are. We are Nivel A. We are working with teachers all over Latin America, and we're so excited to have you with us today. Do you want to go ahead and share your screen?
Yes, let's get going. So you're going to give me timestamps, right? Because I'm just going to go until you stop me. So I have so much to share, and I know we have only a little time, so I'm going to show you where all the buttons are, and I'm going to show you where everything is. And just so I don't confuse you guys, I'm going to stop my camera and just show my screen one. All right, so I created a website that basically hosts all the information. So if you come up here, actually you can't see me. Let me bring myself into the thing. So right up here, so up here on top is where you need to get all the information what I'm going to share right now. So it's called bit.ly slides for all. So right now, if you type this into the web browser, you're going to get the whole slide presentation. Now it's always going to be up here, but just know once I start going, it's going to be on the top left. So I'm going to go through and give you the best tips that I have. But right now, and at the end, here's my thing. Here's my trick. If you stay with me at the end, I'm going to give you the video. And I'm going to show you how I'm doing this. I'm also going to show you how I'm putting my face inside my slide deck, because this is something I really believe is important. The kids right now, or los niños, or whoever you're working with, or teachers even, they don't need more technology. What they need is more you. So when you do a slide presentation or you do a PowerPoint or whatever, the thing that I don't like is sort of la voz de Dios in the corner going, now touch this button. But when I can go touch this button, or hey, let's go over here, this is something that can draw the kids in. And here's the thing, you don't even know what the heck I'm doing, but you're like, how is he doing that? That's the trick. How do we do these things? So let me show you how simple we can start. Now, I'm going to talk about the navigation so you guys know how all this stuff works. Right now, these are all the things that I'm going to give you that you have. But here's the thing. If I spend time on all of these, I'm just going to take all the time that we have covering one or two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my top hits, but I'm going to tell you, I have templates here for you. I have the comic book template that we've created. I have choose your own adventure. And then these are the two big ones that I have, the reveal and divided image. These are the ones when the kids do these are their favorites. But here's the thing, I made it in one level. So don't click on the tabs yet. What we're going to do is go straight down. And I'm going to start just by showing you examples and then building something with you. So right now I know when people throw things at you, they're like, whoa, too much. So what I've done is I've created examples, templates that you can take, and then you can show how to do this. So this first one here, let me just go into the slide presentation. This is the one that originally came from. I used to have to do a topic called changing the way we lecture, because I grew up with this whole idea of like PowerPoints, and teachers were coming in and just boring us and just going blah, 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 blah. And they were just killing us with the PowerPoint. They weren't giving us anything that made us feel really into what they're saying. So this whole conversation here is I'm going to show you how we can do this in the classroom. Now, here's the thing. I'm using Google Slides. I know people are always telling me, hey, what product is best, all this. Use whatever works. All of them can do this, but Google Slides is the one that I usually use and show, is because what kids have with Chromebooks, this can be created with this. So here's what's going to happen. Right now, you don't see anything. There's nothing here. Right now, you're going, what's going on? But here's where the magic's going to happen. Right now, I have covered the image, and I've made it where you can't see it, and I'm going to reveal it one at a time. So in a classroom setting, I'm going to go in here and tell the kids, hey, I've covered up one picture. What's behind this picture? And then I tell a story. So instead of putting words of like blah, 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 I use magic. I use a thing about bringing them in. Now here's two parts. One, uncover, but two, bring them in. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the slide again, and instead of the way that we normally do where we're going reveal, which is we bring the image in, I have covered the image up. So right now let me go back one more time. This is all black. It's all covered because like puzzle pieces, I've covered the whole thing. And then I reveal one at a time. What is this image talking about? Now, for those kids that usually sit in the back, or the kids that aren't paying attention, you got to draw them in. Now, in a classroom setting, here's what I would do. I would go through and I would tell the kids, hey, what do you see? Be a detective. Try to figure out what's happening. Tell me the story. Be able to look and try to figure out what's going on. So in a classroom setting like right now, we are virtually, you can be putting in the chat. So in the chat right now, I would ask you, what do you notice? What do you see? What do you think is happening? I'm not going to tell you any information. I want you to look and try to figure out. Now, again, because of the time limit we have, I won't like spend a lot of time going, hey, can you please post? I just want to give you the idea because here's what's happened. Let me point out some things here that I think that you would see starts to tell the story. So right now with Google Slides, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight certain things that are happening. So right now, the first one, what is this guy picking up? So right now, if you look over here, what is he picking up? If you guys can tell, if you zoom in, it's a rock and his arm's dirty. What is he happening with his other arm? What's happening here? What do you see here? And right now you'll notice it's a fist. He's making a fist. I'll ask the kids, hey, what is this position this gentleman's doing right now? What does he signify? What does this mean? And then with some of my kids pick out right away, this boy who's running has no shoes. Now, all I've done is I've given the kids some ideas, but not tell them anything. I'm just letting them figure out for themselves what is happening. Now, again, I uncover the next one. And now we get into more vocab words. My kids do not understand. Oh, that thing's in the way. So let me pick this one. My kids do not understand what this means. This is called a smokestack. But because we don't have industry in our area anymore, the kids don't know what that is because they have never seen that before, because that is something that happens only when there's work happening that's industry. So right now, there's a hint that I just gave. Now, again, if you remember, I uncover and I zoom in so the kids can see it bigger. So here you guys can see the smokestack is right here. This is a vocab word, but because they don't never seen it, they don't understand what this is. The other thing I ask about in this picture, hey, what do you see of all these gentlemen? What are these guys talking about? What is happening right here? What do you bring? Now, again, those of you that are trying to figure out how I'm doing this, the reason I'm doing this is not for you to look at me. The reason I'm doing this is because I've made my face into a mouse. Every time I move my guy or me, sorry, when I move me, I can talk and point. I'm inside what I'm doing. So I'm able to like bring the kids in. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have a hard time going back into the classroom because this is so much fun being able to move myself around and then be able to use myself as a mouse. Now, there's the trick. Try to do it in 4. 3 is the big reveal. So 3 is the one that you show more. So look what I just did. Now I did the big reveal and you see a skyline. Now up here is pretty important. When the kids first see this, when they're looking at this, they think it's cloudy. They think it's just clouds. But when they start seeing the industry in the background, they start to see that this is more about pollution and smog. Now, again, remember, I took away and then I bring in. Now, again, this is just for me to work with the kids in the back of the room. Right now, you might not even have to do this anymore because they all have a screen in front of them. But right now, you can see up here, you can just see the pollution more. Now, there's 2 new characters here. And let me point these guys out. This is the first guy. Right here, this guy's face represents fear. So when I show the kids this and I tell them, hey, what do you see? They notice right away that this guy does not look happy. He looks scared. He has his hands like this. His eyes are big. Now, the opposite of this guy is this guy right here. So if you guys look right here on this guy below me right now, he looks angry. He looks powerful. And I ask the kids, why does he look powerful? The kids will say it's because he's wearing a top hat. Now, the reason this is important is because he's wearing a top hat, they know, like in the game Monopoly, if you ever played the game Monopoly, that's one of the power pieces. The top hat represented power. Now, here's what happened. A couple years ago, I had a boy come back to me and said, Mr. B, I think that guy is mad. And I said, what? Why is he mad? Why do you think that? He does look angry. And he goes, no, I think he's crazy. And so I said, what makes you think in this picture that he looks crazy? And he said, Mr. B, in this time period, they would dip the hats in mercury, and mercury would keep the hat stiff. But what happens when you would get sweat or get wet, it would seep into your brain and it'd make you crazy. So he said, like in the book Alice in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter, the reason he's nuts is because the mercury that seeped into his brain. Now, here's how I was when he told me that. I was like, what? I never taught that. That wasn't something I covered. But here's the reason why, and I'll give you a hint. If you've seen the movie Endgame from the Avengers, and if you haven't, this is your fault. But in the movie, there's a death scene. And at the end of the death scene, there's this funeral movement where the camera is moving through all these major characters. And there's this random boy at the end that you don't know who the heck he is. After Endgame came out, the next 3 days, the #1 search in Google was who is the boy at the end of the movie Avengers, because everyone needed to know because they were drawn in. Now, I didn't do that. I didn't do that on purpose. He did that because he was drawn in to what the picture did. Now, if you know right now, this magical tool that I'm using is called Google Slides. All I've done is covered up the image, and it gives me moments to bring in ahas, give them the like, what is happening? What's next? Now there's 2 new characters for the first time. Let me bring out the first one. This woman is the first woman you get to see in this picture. Up to this point, it's all men. And now this is why she's important. This throws my kids off every single time. This is what she represents. She's the immigrant in this image. Now, this throws people off. The kids throw off because she's white. And white people can be immigrants, but I have to tell them everyone came from somewhere. And right now in this image, she represents something. She represents the poverty, the longing, the hardworking class in the background. Now, the other one that you see, I don't know if you guys can see her. She's over here in the corner. Right now, she's here. Now, here's the thing. She's doing a couple things that are pretty important. The first one is she has her hand on this man's chest, holding him up. The other hand, right now, you can see is she's in this position of peace, or what I call calmate. She has her hands up like this. She's stopping people. She's in this position. Now, I think she's the wife. And the reason I think it's a wife is because this guy right here with his hands out to the side, he's in the position of husband. What do you want me to do? What is happening? She's holding him up. There's a whole conversation here happening. Now, if I did my job just like my face around the screen that you guys are trying to figure out how I'm doing that, it's really simple. If I've done my job, all I need to do is drop this. I drop the title of the article or the painting or whatever I want them, and then the name of the person, and I tell them the magic words. I say, Google it. And once they do that, I've got them in that hook. I've got them drawn in. Now, that's what I want to show you. That's what I want to work with you. Now, here's my tips. I'm going to go through. The first one I want to make sure is find the perfect image. It has to have multiple elements, and I'm going to tell you where I find all my images. You find them in the books that you never get to look at because you always assign your reading pages 1 through 30 or something like that. The kids just swipe through, look for the end of the chapter. They look for the stuff. They never look at the pictures, and the pictures are usually this big. So what I try to do is I take my phone, take a picture, put it in a slide deck, make it bigger, cover it up, and show them one piece at a time. Point 2 here, which I think is pretty powerful, is know your image. Now, I'm rushing pretty quickly through this image, but I would draw your attention to certain things. I'd be like that guia or that guide that says, hey, what do you think? What do you think that is? What do you see? Give them opportunities to ponder. Give them opportunities to give you answers without giving them solutions. Because point 3, I wish I would have learned a lot earlier in my teaching career, is don't ever give breadcrumbs. Don't ever give answers. Give breadcrumbs. Don't say this is the answer. Let them struggle with it. So here's the thing. This is a quote I got from a teacher. It's not about them remembering the image. This is what she said she got out of this. It's the skill in which they got their analysis, how they guessed, how they struggled, how they tried to find out the problem without you telling them it's answer A. Let them go through it. Let them struggle with it because they'll be better because of it. Now, another one that I'm going to show you, it's the same concept. Sometimes with pictures, you can't do squares. So I'm going to give you an example of an easy one, which is just squares, but sometimes you have to work with the lines. So this is usually what I have to do with pictures. So this one's called reveal. The other one's divided image because it's just squares. Reveal, you have to cut out. So let me show you what I'm talking about. This first one is a picture. Pictures don't work really well because right now everything has a angle or no one's actually standing where you want them. So in this one, what we did is we cut out the image that we wanted, which is we cut out the shape that we're uncovering. So when I say cut out is I'm cutting out by making the black cover up the kid exactly how I want. And I'll show you how to do this. Now, the first part I say, what do you notice? The kids are always like, hey, it's a boy. The boy's wearing different overalls. Our overalls in the United States are over the shoulder. They're not an X like this. So usually what I'll say to the kids to drop the breadcrumb, I'll say, hey, what do you think? What is this? What do you think is happening? What's different about these? I don't give them an answer. I give them a breadcrumb to lead them down. Now, the second one here, I'll ask them here, hey, what does this look like? What do you think this is? And I'll say, hey, this is different. Ours are circles. And then I'll plant the seed of the breadcrumb of saying, hey, what do you think this is? They'll say, it's a manhole cover, but why is it a square? And already start to plant that it's something different. The next one is the big one. Remember, and the third one is where you want to kind of give more of the image. And again, it's up to you. I have one teacher that goes way over the top. He does like 12, 13 of these where he has this too many. Try to do it in small bites. Give them enough to get them into it and then show them stuff. Now, on this one, you notice right now, you'll notice something pretty important. you'll notice that there's another girl, and you notice the buildings are different. And right now, when the kids get drawn to this, depending where I do this in the country, if I'm in a place where there's poverty, sometimes I'll say this look like projects. Sometimes people will say these look like apartments. The buildings look a little run down. Now, if I did my job, if I planted the breadcrumbs, if I led them down a path, what I do is I bring them in with the next one. Right now, when I drop this in, it's actually taking the air out of the room before. I've had people look at me and go, whoa, what is happening? And now I can start talking about Warsaw, Poland. I can talk about concentration camps. I can talk about this moment in history where the kids look at this picture and don't allow it to come in because it's something from the past, because it's black and white. It happened so long ago that it didn't matter. This picture is in our books, but a lot of times we don't jump into it because the kids are swiping through, and I'm getting them an opportunity to have an experience. Now, I'll tell you, this will sometimes draw out emotions. Sometimes people will know what this is about, and they'll look at you and go, whoa. But here's the thing, shouldn't education be an experience? Shouldn't it be something more than just same information over and over? I can show them this by doing things like that. Now, here's the thing. I want to talk. I'm looking at the clock out of the corner of my eye. I want to make sure you show the examples that I gave you that you guys have. So what I'm going to do is, there's more examples in here, but for the sake of time, I want to show you a quick one that we can do together. I've created something called the 2 Fridas. I work with my kids on this. This up here is where it is. And then here, if you click the button, shows you the instructions. So let me show you the first one. So same thing we just did, but this time I'm going to tell the story of Frida. Now, I'm going to tell you, being Mexican American, it's tough because a lot of times you don't have the whole story. And so a lot of times, even there's so many things you're supposed to know. Sometimes you don't realize the stories you don't know because you're not covered with that. So someone showed me this and it just made my eyes open up that Frida was how I felt. So right now, if you know anything about her story, she made this painting. So right now I would talk about to my kids. I'm actually go big screen so you guys can see how beautiful this one is. You guys see Frida here. I have covered one section. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the other one. I'm going to talk about the Frida here, the Frida that left the campesino life, the person she was, who she felt she was. And this, you notice right now, she's holding hands here. You see her heart, and I would zoom in more on this with the kids, but her heart being torn. And then if you see the second picture here, you see her heart being tied and giving life to the person that she was pretending to be, the European, the person that was not de aquí, no de allá. Do you see right now, this is hooked to this by painting it in a way of talking about who Frida was, how Frida felt, and what her past meant to her present, and how she supported herself. There's a whole lesson here that I can do. No writing, no look at the PowerPoint and read the points, no lecture. It's a story. It's a way to draw them in. Now, to show you the instructions, for those of you going, wait, how do I do this? If you click on Frida copy right here, this button, if you click on it, it says going to make a copy, say yes. I usually put my character on the side to let the kids know how to do the steps. And I follow the concept of important, not important. So what I'm saying is, if you guys go here, it says right now, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to search for the image 2 Fridas. Okay. Then we're going to insert it as the background. And then we're going to cover the image with shapes. So right now, I'm going to go right quickly into this, but no, I'm following the steps that are here. So right now, I'm going to open up I'm going to look up a Google search, and I'm going to go 2 Fridas. And the 2 Fridas, I'm going to click on images, and then I'm going to look for the image that I want. Now, right now, I picked the black and white, but the color one is also powerful. The reason I picked the black and white is because she's in it, and I thought that was pretty cool to have that. Now, once I click it once, this is called a thumbnail. It's a tiny, tiny little picture. You don't want to put that in your slide. You click on it once, it opens the bigger one. The one you want is this one. The one you want is this big one right here. Now, here's the thing. 1 click is what left click on your mouse pad. 2 clicks is the right click on your mouse pad. So what you want to do on a trackpad is tap it with 2 fingers, and it opens up this menu. The one you want is the one that's called copy the image address. It's this one down here on the bottom. Copy the image address. Now, once I've copied the image address, when I go back into my slide, what I can do is actually, I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to click a new presentation. What I can do once I get here is I can insert it as the background. I'm going to close the themes. I'm going to change the layout to blank, just to you clean it up. You can delete the stuff, but you want it a blank space. Now, here's the thing. when I said click on background, see up here it says background, and hopefully you guys see why I like using my face, because then the kids can just follow. Then when you click on background, you're going to click on choose image. And the image we're going to do is we're not going to upload it because we didn't actually upload it. We're not going to take a picture of ourselves. We're going to put it in by URL. And URL, when you click on it, it allows you to paste the address. So instead of me downloading a bunch of pictures, I can just insert it this way. All I did was go Control V, which is paste, and I hit insert image. Now that I've inserted the image, okay, and I click done. Now all I have to do is cover it up. So again, I want to make sure you know what I'm doing. I search for the image to Frida's, then we're going to insert it as the background. We did the first two things. Then we cover the image up with shapes. So all we're going to do now is we're going to go to the circle and the square. So the circle and the square are right here. Once I click on it, it's going to give me a drop down. I'm going to go shapes, and then I'm going to go square. Now, here's what throws our kids off sometimes. They think a shape is going to drop. No, we have to paint it. So right now, I just click and hold, and I'm going to cover up Frida first, and I covered her up, and now she's covered. Now, if you know, I used to be Control-C copies, Control-V paste, and I had a kid tell me one time, Mr. B, why are you so slow? You go Control-D, it duplicates. So right now, I'm just going to click on it and go Control. If you're on a Mac, remember a Mac is Command, but everything else is Control. I'm just going to go duplicate, and I just cut out shapes that are exact same cover as the other one, and I'm going to cover this up quickly so you guys can just see how it is. And I would have to resize it a little bit, but you guys would get the idea. Make these cover the whole thing, okay? Now, in my steps, I said cover up with shapes, and then you can go into animation. Now, the one thing I like is I always like to look all black. So what I'm going to do is I click on one, and I go to the paint bucket, and I go black. I go to the pencil next to the paint bucket, and I make it transparent so you can never see the lines. Let me do that again. First thing you need to do is click on the object. Then you got to go up to the paint bucket. And the paint bucket is right here. It shows up. Once you click on the paint bucket, you got to go to the color black. And the only reason we're doing this is so that you can't see the lines. And go transparent, okay? And I would do it the same for the third one. Now, the next step that says in my instructions, it says once you click on an object, you have options. Once you click on it, all you got to do is you got to go to insert, and it's a really bad name for this, but it's called animation. When you click on animation, this sidebar is going to go in. Now, the only thing you have to do here, instead of saying fade in, you got to want to make sure you say fade out. So when I say fade out, what'll happen when I click play, so you can see what it looks like, it'll take the image and make it go away, and now I can start telling my story. So cover up the whole thing, and then you're going fade out, cover it up like a puzzle backwards. Instead of putting puzzle pieces on, puzzle pieces away to tell the story and to get the kids in. Now, again, I'm going to tell you, this just takes a little bit of practice. Make it simple to start out. So right now, the Frida one, just use the Frida one, push the button, see how it works. And I'm going to tell you, it's so simple that it blew my mind when I first saw it. And I was like, wait, we can use this on another level. And I started doing this for almost every lesson. I have so many of these. So if you want examples, I'll show you my email at the bottom at the end. But it's easier than you think. Okay. So the first one I showed you, take away the image. Now, let's say you want to do the one where I talked about, I'm going to hit stop. If you wanted to cut out, let's say you wanted to just show the heart. What does the heart represent? This is the one where I talked to you about. This is the one I did with the picture. On this one, the instructions are polyline. Now, the only reason I'm showing you this is some of you guys are going to take off with this. Is you notice, again, I have that blue line following me. I don't know if you guys can see it here. Every time I click, I leave what's called an anchor point. I can make my own shape. So instead of using the shapes they have, the moment I click back to the beginning, I cut out the shape I wanted. So now I have the shape that I want. I'm going to take out the line color, make it black. And now I can make this also do the same thing as the other things. So I'm going to fade out, make sure the instructions, follow them, fade out. And when I click play, you have it where now this fades out and I can talk about the heart there. Okay. So again, in here, these instructions are right now. Make sure you follow them, fade out. I'm running out of time, so I want to make sure you know where everything is here. The second one, this is just for me. This is my favorite one. But right now, no, the instructions are on when you make a copy. So right now, I'm going to do the lesson this time. But this time, I'm going to add music. So right now, when I click here and I start playing through it. Oh, wait, it's not connected. Forgot to make a change. So let me show you what I'm talking about. When I click Frida with music, make a copy. There's one thing you can do that's pretty powerful. I made it so that you guys have to do it. Right now here is a song. So right now, if you look right here, there's a song from YouTube that I found. I'm going to connect it where the red line shows up. And when you click on it, if you follow the instructions, I asked you to search for the YouTube video called No Soy de Aquí, No de Allá. Then you're going to insert it as a video. And then you're going to click on video playback. So right now, what I'm talking about here, and again, this one's more for me, like, oops, let me make sure you guys can see. So when I give my instructions, I have music in the background playing as I'm going through this. So right now, as I'm going through this, I can use music from YouTube. Now, again, just to show you how quickly I did this, all you have to do is when you go to insert, follow the instructions I gave you, insert video. From video, you're on YouTube. No, oops, click on here. No soy de aquí. I click on there. There's going to be a lot of videos that show up because there's a lot of them. This is the one I use. I'm going to click select. It drops the video right into my slide. This thing pops up. All I'm going to do is autoplay when presenting. I can pick where I wanted to start, where I want to stop. But notice when I go present, look what happens. The video automatically plays. You're going to have like multiple videos playing right now because there's one on the side. Now the trick, so the kids never see it, is you got to move it to the side. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to have two of them. It has to be connected. So that red line that shows up means it's connected. Once it's connected and you go to present, the kids never see it and it plays right away. So no, again, this is one of my favorite ones here. 2 Fridas with music. Now, again, we're at 10:53. I think we're supposed to stop at 10:55. Is that right, Dominic? Am I?
Yeah, but this is fine, George.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, again, and I saw someone just chat, what do you use to insert your video and move? Okay, that's at the end. Stay. I actually, it's right here. So I gave it to you right here, but don't leave yet. I want to make sure I show you this last one, because once I show you that, I'm just going to give you your instructions there and you're done. But right now, here's the one, Frida's Facebook. Click on the make a copy. And let me just show you how quickly we can do this. This one is one of my favorite with kids because you can trick them into do a lot of writing this way. So on this one, what you're going to do is once you make the copy and it opens up, is it gives you a template for Facebook. And the reason I know, I'm not trying to get you to use Facebook. I'm just saying Facebook, if you look at your writing when you're on Facebook, you write a lot. So right now, what you have is you have something here I've done for you. This is page 1. This is page 2. And so right, page 2, if you look at it, it's about me. Page 3 is the photos. Who's the photos of this person? And page 4, who's the friends? And if you notice, there's writing in each section that the kids have to do. Now, you're looking at it going, oh, that could be kind of cute. Here's the thing that's pretty awesome about this. If you go to present mode, look what happens. Right now, when you click on about, it takes you to the about page. So you have this. If you click on photos, it takes you to the photo page. And if you click on friends, it takes you to the friend page. And just like Facebook, if you click on Facebook, it takes you to the home page. Now, this is the stuff right now. Same as before. Remember, the same way I inserted a video. I'm going to go here and click on replace image. I already created the things for you. I'm going to go and search the web. And then I'm just going to look and see what comes up with Frida. And then I'm going to click on this picture. And once I click on it, I'm just going to click on replace. And now I have this picture here on this. Now I created a frame for you. If you double click, you can use the arrows to move things around that frame to get more what you want. Now here on this background, same thing again. I'm going to repeat the process. I'm going to click on it, go to replace image. I'm going to go search the web. And on this one, I'm going to talk about, let's just do Mexico, see what comes up. She didn't live at the beach. Let's do this one. No, let's do this one. So click on this one, and then I click replace. When I click on replace, it's going to take that background image. Now, let's say I don't want a picture of this guy. I double click to get the box, and I use my arrows to move it to where it now looks more traditional. Now I have that. Now, again, if I go to present, now I have here where I have this whole thing. What is on Frida's mind? What is her quick bio? I'm going to click on about. Then you have to put a picture of Frida here, and you have to tell about Frida's early life. What was her impact? What is her legacy? On her photos, you have to go through and show me who are the people or moments of her life that you can go through and tell me. And then you got basically a timeline. And then when you go to friends, who are the people that made an impact and that mattered? Now, I'm going to tell you, teachers push back on me and said, George, this is too much. This is like not scholarly enough. But what I did is I took a kid's writing and I copied and pasted all the stuff they wrote, and I put it in a Google Doc. And if they write on this and they fill the sections, you have almost 3 pages full of information. So just think about, for the younger ones or the middle, anyone, you can put a lot on this, because with Facebook, you change the narrative. Now, some of you guys will come up and, hey, do you have a Twitter template or Instagram template or TikTok template? I don't use those because you can't put a lot of writing in them. That's my biggest frustration sometimes when I do an Instagram post, is that you can't put that much writing in it. So sometimes Facebook is the trick to be able to bring them in, and you can use this right away. I'm just telling you right now. Oops. I'm telling you right now, I gave it to you. It's already yours. Now, the final thing I want to show you with this that I think is really important you guys can do is, if you've never used Google Slides this way, is if you don't want the kids, when you're done and you want it to look like a web page, you can always go to File. And there's a trick here that I thought was pretty powerful, but it freaks people out. This button right here where it says Publish to the Web, when you click on this, and don't worry about any of this other stuff, just click on Publish. What it'll look like, and then hit OK at the top. When you do this, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get a link for it, what it looks like as a web page. So when I copy this and then I paste this into the like a search thing, look how it looks like now. Now it reacts. You can't even tell it's a Google slide. It looks like a web page. This got me in trouble once. A parent said, hey, you made my kid have a Facebook page. And I said, no, it's a Google slide that looks like it, because the kid did it as about me. He wrote it about me. And when the parents saw this, just flipped their mind, because they're like, this second grader has a Facebook page. No, 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 no. It's a Google slide that's published that looks like a post. So that was something that I thought was pretty cool. Now, I'm over time, so I just want to make sure you know the last thing you have here. This is where I did everything I just did. This is a video that explains it, and these are the step-by-step instructions. So right now, this is a demo slam, and this is the quote that I came up. This is the reason I'm doing this, is because of this quote. It's from Disney. It says, it's not the magic that makes it work. It's the way that we work that makes it magic. So right now, during my whole presentation, I was throwing so much stuff at you, but the reason I'm doing it is because I feel it's so powerful. But the thing that I was showing you, demoing the whole time, was me right now being in here. Now, that's because it's the magic. It's not anything with technology. You can do this with Chromebooks. You can do this with any PC, any Mac. But no, it's the magic that we make it work. So what to do is, the first one I have, the one I've been playing with, and I kind of turned it off so I wasn't confusing you guys, was this one right here called the Snap Camera. And the Snap Camera can only work for Apple and for PC. So no, this was the one that has a limitation. And I give you the instructions here. So here you go through how to sign up. So I have all step-by-step how to do this, and then the steps you need to do to get it turned on. And then once you do it, here's a video right here where my guy's finger's pointing. Here's a video on how you can change all your filters and make them fit and be able to tell a lesson this way. But that one's called Snap Camera. The one I'm doing right now, that I'm in your face, is called Zoom. So Zoom, I gave you the instructions. You can actually not start a Zoom meeting. You can just join, and then not join with your audio and video. And what you can do with your guy is you got to go through and make him small. The thing I did right here is this little dot right here. It took me a while to figure this out. If you click on the middle thing, it'll make you a small little image like I am. So right now, let me just show you literally. You click on this little, the yellow one in the middle. When you click on the yellow one in the middle, oh, I went off screen. Let me bring myself back. Sorry about that. Oh, it doesn't let me stay in there if I'm doing that. I'm sorry. If you click on that yellow one right there, it'll make you small like this. Now, again, I just told you this is for PC, Mac. I have a friend that figured this one out for Screencastify. If you use Screencastify, it allows you to record your screen. And what you can do with this one is you can actually make yourself into this whole concept. You can make yourself into it too by using Chromebooks. You use Screencastify. Here's my computer guy talking about it. And then these are the steps here that you have to do that. Use desktop, embed your webcam, and then when you put your webcam, you can actually do the same thing I'm doing right now. So all those steps are there. Or if you don't want to, I keep making myself go off the screen. If you don't want to do that and you're like, I don't want to, I just want you to show me how to do it. This little button right here, this video is basically me going step by step on how I did that. Okay, Dominique, I'm sorry.
No, this is awesome. This is great. We have Fede with us as well. Federico from Colombia. He's one of your fans who's been waiting to meet you.
Hi, George.
Oh, Luis? Oh, no, wait, where?
Federico, he's in Colombia.
Is he on the chat? It's hard to keep up with the chat and see over that.
He's in video right now. He's
I'm part of the stream right now.
Is his the one that's spinning? Oh, hey.
How are you doing, George?
I'm good. I feel like I just went through a lot. I feel a little bit like Batman, but I feel like, I was able to get the information. That's really what I wanted, but 45 minutes is pretty quick.
No, but I think it was really great. Like people on the chat were really engaged with what you were doing, which I think is part of what you were trying to show us, that that's how we have to be with kids, right?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody was waiting to see what's going on at the end, and I did tell Dominique this morning that I'm looking forward to meeting George. Actually, I do have right here. I have one of your tutorials. Maybe later on you could join us for another session, but I do have one here that it was on how to do face drawings with
Google Draw?
Google Drawing.
Yes.
Yeah, so I did tell her that a couple weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, I was actually tweeting you like, hey, how did you get this done? And then you shared everything, and it was awesome to have it there.
Yes, when I was going to Honduras, right? And I was telling you to come down like a...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you were telling me you were going to Honduras, and exactly. And then also, I remember almost a year ago, you were close to coming over to the Colombia summit we had.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we couldn't set it up to work out, but it was really nice to know that you were willing to join us and help us out, and that you are doing it right now too. That's awesome.
Yeah, I when Dominique said this is like that whole song, No Soy de Aquí, No Soy de Allá. It's that whole thing about like being able to share what I didn't realize that other people wanted this, or even this when you tweeted at me, I was like, oh wow, someone else is doing Google Drawings. And I see Darren. I don't know if you know, Darren just jumped into the chat. He's the Canadian version of me. So if you ever like need some help with Google Drawings, he's amazing on there.
I guess we'll be bothering him soon then.
Yeah, anything you guys need, man.
Yeah, George, the feedback in the chat is phenomenal. Everybody is so happy, so excited. You have new fans in Latin America. Ana Luisa, who's been with us every day. This is now our 11th day of webinars. She said, mis respetos para ti, George Bárcenas, genial, tu presentación. We had people asking you about how to do the video. You already showed us that. And
at the bottom of the website they have, at the bottom, has my email address. So it's my personal email address. It's not a fake one. Please send it, like questions you have, like even if it's in Spanish. I know I did the whole presentation in English, but my Spanish is decent. I'm not perfect. I still say the wrong forms of things. I say tú instead of usted, but I can speak it and I can conversate with it. So just know it's not, I know I threw a lot.
No, but it was fabulous. I put your link on there right now so everybody can see it one more time. It's bit.ly/slides4all. And this was so great. We look forward to next week. We know you're going to be joining us next week to share some other fun tools for distance learning in the classroom. But thank you so much, George. This was great.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Y para todos los demás, nos vemos mañana.
Sí, misma hora.
Bye-bye.